And this is how you gain the confidence to run Facebook ads, because now you know I can think through what's happening with the ad. I can look at all my different data points and determine what is working, what is not, and why. In using Facebook ads, it is really important to critically think through your data-driven decisions, right? So if something does not work, it's really easy to panic and to feel like, oh no, if that didn't work, do I know what I'm doing? Am I going to be able to figure this out? So I'm going to walk you through an example of how a client of mine, we used two different graphics. There was very little difference between the two, but I'm going to explain how I deduced how the ad that was getting fewer clicks was actually a better ad than the one that got the most clicks. So in this particular graphic that we were using, right, one basically had, words on the actual graphic, which basically acts as a headline, because when you are running Facebook and Instagram ads, you don't get a headline on Instagram. You only get a headline on Facebook in that actual newsfeed ad. Whereas on Instagram and in several other placements, you get no headline at all. So if you want a headline, if you want to capture people's attention with not just the graphic or just the video, but also with text that they can read, then you want to add a headline into the graphic or to the video itself, right? So one of them had words and the other graphic did not have words. And so you think, okay, well, if you really want a headline, why would you test one without words? It looks more native to the platform when it doesn't have, words on the graphic. Otherwise, it does immediately look like an ad. I don't ever think it's a good idea to try to trick your audience into believing that this is just a regular post, right? That's not the idea of trying to be native to the platform. It's just that you want it to blend in. You don't want it to be in your face, I'm trying to sell you something type of ad, even though this is for a free lead magnet. So that is why we still wanted to test it without the words to see if that would just blend more and kind of put people at ease so it didn't feel so in your face. Now, between those two, the ad that did not have any words actually got more traction. It got more clicks. It got more people to open up the text and start to read it. It got more clicks through to the landing page. And so Facebook said, hey, this is a really good, graphic, but it was not converting, right? And so when I looked at a totally separate ad set that had another graphic in it that also had words on it, okay, it was getting not only great clicks, it wasn't even getting as many clicks as the one that had no words at all, but it was converting more. And the reason that I could deduce from that, if I really looked at those two images side by side and said, well, this one has no words, so people didn't feel so in your face and maybe wanted to find out more, but it was not pre-qualifying them, right? Whereas the graphic that did have the words maybe did feel a little bit more like an ad, but then I knew that the people who clicked on it were pretty much sure that not only did they fit in that audience, right? Because we called out the avatar in the graphic with that headline on the graphic. So not only were they sure that they were in the right place, right? But they knew they're going forward into something that was an ad. This is something where I'm interacting with a business, someone who may make an offer to me of some kind. And so those people, when they would get to the landing page, were way more likely to convert, right? Because they knew what they were getting into. Whereas the ad that absolutely had no words on it, it wasn't converting. So even though people were clicking, the click-through rate and the cost per click were ideal. Super ideal. We're looking for 1 to 2% for a click-through rate. The click-through rate was over 2%, right? So that's good. And we're looking for a $1 to $2 cost per click. And the cost per click was about $1.80, which is amazing. It's right there where you want it to be, right? So even though we were getting all of these great metrics, you're almost tempted to say, well, if the ad is so amazing, then it must be the landing page. But wait, that landing page had been converting with another ad, same audience, but just a different ad. And once they got to the landing page, they were converting just fine. So I really had to look at, well, what is the difference between these ads? Why would this one convert them once they got to the landing page and the other one wouldn't, if it's going to the same audience, right? Now, this is not to say that a graphic, without any text can't work. Testing anything is going to require some critical thinking, right? So now we can say, okay, we need to include that headline. We need to make sure that on whatever video or graphic that we're creating, that we have something that is drawing in the right people. So any clicks that we're earning, okay, is really being earned by the right people that are in our audience. And we can know now if they make it to the landing page and they don't convert, then maybe we need to look back at the landing page. If you're like, I just need someone to think through this with me until I get a grasp of, what is it that really works for my business? How can I continually be able to refresh my ads when it's time and know that I'm doing the right thing and not, wasting money or spending money without really knowing what's going on. So if you need that critical thinking partner, I do one-on-one coaching for people who are running Facebook ads and really to discover how can we create those ads for your business that people respond to so that you can get those consistent sales. I'm Amber McDuffie. I help course creators, coaches, consultants, and service providers to grow their business with Facebook ads.